Ron Harris here from MuscularDevelopment.com with our coverage of the Tampa Pro, brought to you by High Tech Nutrition. We wrapped up judging and finals of day one. This is a two-day affair of the Tampa Pro. I'm here with Big Mike Cox, who you guys all know from the forum legend, and we're going to go through some of this. So we had several divisions today. We're going to talk about women's physique. A little shock. Rosie Hart, I thought she was going to do a little bit in the fifth. What do you think, Mike?
She's got such great shape. Her posing was probably one of the best routines we had tonight. It's just some of the other girls are bigger. This class is all over the place. You have some girls that are big, some girls that are small, short, tall. It's almost like they need to kind of maybe get height or weight categories because there's so much of a difference in these girls' physiques. Rosie's look phenomenal. Like Giles was telling me, it's probably her best prep ever. Her pose, again, her posing was top notch, but it's just some other girls were just a little bit bigger. I didn't see her placing where she did. I thought maybe third or fourth, but you know, the judges know best.
So the winner, we interviewed her earlier. She was Jennifer Taylor, who has won this show last year as a pro figure competitor. Made the switch, put a little more mass on, a little more condition, and now she's headed to Olympia. Okay. We had another classic physique show, and this was good to see because George Patterson, he's somebody we've been watching all season. We were all expecting him to win the New York Pro Classic. He took second to Breon Ansley, who was a very deserving winner. He took second again at another show, sixth at the Vancouver's, second in Chicago. Finally pulled off a win. What did you think of George today?
This is the first classic physique show I've seen. So,
okay.
I was pretty impressed. George, he looked better, I think, back in New York.
Yeah.
He wasn't at 100% of this show, but he pops when he poses. Things come alive. He maybe doesn't have the best structure, but when he hits certain poses, he looks top-notch. It was close. I think I had the guy that plays third ahead of George. He was a little bit harder, yeah. But again, you know, he was good enough to win and go to the Olympia. Right.
And we'll see what happens to the Olympia. It's going to be a whole different game there. Women's bodybuilding, we had some familiar people, some people I wasn't familiar with. Lisa Cross from the UK was the runner-up. You know, it was tight, I think, between her and Sheila. Did you see her as possibly winning, Lisa Cross?
I thought Lisa had the better shape. Her proportions were better, but Sheila had more detail. Sheila's posing was just incredible. Her transitions, her poses, the way she moved. Everyone should take a lesson from Sheila about posing. Some of the routines tonight were just a snooze fest, honestly. Some of the classic physique guys, not to go back to classic, but because you're classic physique doesn't mean you need to pose slow. Like, speed it up. I know the love songs are great and you try to classic poses, but pose, speed it up. But back to the female bodybuilding, yeah. Lisa Cross looked phenomenal. I'm a huge Lisa Cross fan, as you know. Yeah. So I was kind of pulling for her. But Sheila, what, three-time winner? Yeah. Looked phenomenal. I knew when they walked out this morning, those were the top two. Right. So it was apples and oranges, whatever one you preferred. It had to be close. I guarantee Lisa had some first-place votes. Yes.
Okay, in the last division, and I'm sorry, men's physique guys, I missed it. I was covering some other stuff. So the last division I want to talk about is the 212 division. This was really the surprise of the show. We had a couple of new faces here that did very, very well. Going into this show, a lot of us thought it was going to be a fairly easy win for Sami Al-Haddad from Bahrain because Sami's been around a while. He's won some shows. He's been to the Olympia. He's a veteran. And we had two guys here that have been pros for 7 days. They both turned pro at the USA last weekend. So we had the winner, Derek Lunsford, and we had the runner-up, Jacob Wilson. They were respectively light heavyweight and heavyweight champs at the USA. And for those to be top two in a pro show the next week, it's just ridiculous. It's like out of a TV show or something. Were you surprised to see them do that well?
I was very surprised, honestly. Derek is the real deal. I texted a few people today that when he walked on stage, shit just happened. Yeah. I mean, in clothes, you know, he's a big kid, but when he's on stage and that front double bicep and the small waist and the quads, I think this kid is going to be one of the best in the sport eventually. I have nothing but praise for him. Humble kid, his head on straight, doing the Olympia, 24 years old. That doesn't happen anymore these days. So, like I said, 7 days ago, he was winning the USA. Jacob looked phenomenal. His condition was just as good as it was last week. If he would have won, I wouldn't have been upset.
Yeah, I don't think too many people would have.
No, he's got that old man muscle. Yeah. muscle maturity, real hard, granite-like. Sammy was good. He wasn't very happy, obviously, after the show. But he has that Olympia thickness. You know, some of those guys have an Olympia look. Josh has an Olympia look. He's got a lot of muscle. Sammy's got hanging muscle everywhere. He wasn't maybe 100%. The glutes weren't as tight as they have been. Yeah. He could have been good enough to win. Those top three were close. You know, I felt for Sammy, but it was good seeing Derek win. I'm a huge fan of this kid, so the sky's the limit with him.
Yeah, he's headed to Olympia. I don't know how well he's going to do. You know, like he's a kid. He's with muscle maturity and time. I think he's got pretty much all the size he needs. Yeah. Structure and shape, just gifted. They're right up there with the very best of them. But I think it's going to be, you know, a year, 2, 3 years before we see this kid really hit his stride. I think he's got as good a chance as anyone to be, you know. We'll see how it all shakes out in Vegas. We'll see. Well, wow, this place is completely empty now. That's how long we've been here. So we're going to wrap it up for day one here from Tampa for MuscleDevelopment.com and High Tech Nutrition. This has been Ron Harris with Big Mike Cox.